Well, Six Sigma is an extremely simple and powerful tool. Just using the DMAIC process allows you to quantify everything you're doing at every stage. It's so flexible, you can use it for any application. You need to be getting your baseline right first and asking the right questions at the beginning. But once you've got that set out, your progress is quite straightforward through the system. You ask yourself the questions, you ask your customers and your contractors the questions.
The business school, on a number of its big programs, business management, business studies, have dedicated modules and routes within this area, which allows the students at level 6 to attain their Six Sigma yellow and green belts. There's a proven record in this, and it starts right at the beginning at level 4, and the students build up their knowledge. Some go out on placement and actually apply and bring that knowledge back.
Well, involving customers in the process has helped us in two respects. It's firstly, obviously, the feedback from the customers is critical, both on our performance and the performance of our contractors. It's helped us with quality issues. It's also actually, because we're a very small team, it's helped us monitor the work as well, where the customers are telling us if a contractor says that the job's completed and they actually don't think it is, they'll come back to us. So it's helped us police the contractors, if you like. But it's also helped from the quality side, and it's given us good communication and building confidence with the customers as well.
Okay, Carl, how do you think Liverpool John Moores University's measurement systems have helped you as a contractor serving the university?
Well, I think the system enables us to digest and talk about what's going on throughout the month. We can sit down, we can look at the problems, we can look at where the holes are from our side and from LJMU side. We can decipher if we're falling behind on some of the attendances, on the invoicing, on getting the jobs processed. Also gives us the media feedback so we can look at the graphs. It's really simple to follow, which makes it really easy to see where we are and where we've been and where we need to be. And it's also a good forum to get any issues out there. So Dave and I can discuss anything from job times, nature of the job, invoicing, where we are. It's just a good snapshot. It brings everything all together in that monthly meeting.
Well, since we started doing this, we've seen a marked improvement across the board with all our contractors. They've started turning the jobs around a lot quicker and get their processes behind those jobs correct. Their administration and getting the jobs through from physical completion to job completed on the system. We've seen a marked increase in our performance as well, where we've actually now got to the stage where we're producing or we're processing more than 80% of the jobs. We started off from a baseline of about 37% of the jobs in the 4-week cycle. We're now up over 80 consistently.
Traditionally, Six Sigma has been the bastion of the manufacturing sector, where it's been applied successfully by organisations all around the world, particularly in the automotive sector, where efficiencies can be made and processes streamlined. In the last few years, these powerful tools and techniques have been applied to non-manufacturing environments with the same benefits. It's with absolute great delight that estates are applying the Six Sigma processes in things like reactive maintenance within JMU, and the applications will acquire the same benefits and efficiencies, and this in turn will provide a more efficient and effective processes, removing duplication and streamlining the whole process.
Well, actually measuring each stage of the process has been very important to us, because we can then sit down with the contractors and identify the failings at each stage. On the graphs that we provide on a monthly basis, the overarching KPI is talked about, but it's also the breakdown of the different stages of the job through the physical completion and to invoice stage, and then completion of the whole job. From acceptance of the invoice. We can now measure that and quantify that on a monthly basis, and the contractor can chart their progress, and we can chart what the contractor is doing, not only individual contractors but across the sector as well, which is good. Well, we identified the main issues as being we needed the process to be more transparent and joined up, because we were finding gaps, as Carla said previously. There were gaps in the service he was providing, gaps in what we were doing. There was no clarity on the standards anymore. We'd lost the clarity on that. When jobs were completed, we knew the physical completion had taken place, but they weren't being job completed on the system. So we needed to try and sharpen up both the administration on the contractor side, but on our side as well. And we didn't seem to be actually proactive in reporting jobs through the system. There was also an issue around the feedback to customers. It wasn't happening. And we found out that some of the jobs that the contractors said they were completing hadn't been, or they weren't doing it in the way that was compliant with LJMU. And there was a certain amount of flexibility with the system as well, that we couldn't add notes, and we couldn't communicate and use the system as a communication tool. We've amended that now, and we can add notes, and there is a dialogue that takes place on the system, which is great for all parties. The customers can see what's going on with their jobs. We can communicate via the system, and we've got that record. Well, we identified the need to embark on the Six Sigma primarily because of the backlog of jobs that we had on the system. There were an awful lot of jobs at an awful lot of different stages through the process, from accepted through the job completed. And we wanted to try and put some discipline and get some measures behind that, so that we could start to eat into that and basically guide the contractors through their processes as well.
Greatly. I think the key is to use and apply the techniques and the same efficiencies in terms of streamlined processes, removing of duplication, and improvement communication will come to the fore.
The reduction in time from when we log a job to job completion has really enhanced the student experience, particularly in snags that are in the student environment who are in teaching areas. It means we have less complaints, and also any complaints are addressed quickly, and we appear much more responsive to student needs.